What's interesting though is click share is not correlated equally to ad spend. So a 30% click share, you could double your budget and go to 40% click share. It doesn't mean it's going to go to 60. They're not relevant. As long as I'm below like 85, I have room to grow. 85 is usually where you see things pretty much just tap out because Google will never just permanently affix someone to a position.
So to expand your top of funnel campaign versus your retargeting campaign, to expand that, would it be adding more broad terms or would it just be adding more budget? Like, how are you going to scale this and take it to the next sort of stage here?
Yep. So what's really cool about this is the reason why this has a high amount of scalability is my exact match manual campaign by spending, $1,700 in the last 3 days. Even if I just pull this out, like let's say a week, this thing has spent $2,000 and it is got a manual click share of 31% and my TROAS click share of 10%. This TROAS here and this search impression share here, I'm starting to scale up and it's still not even limited by budget. This one's way limited by budget. And it's like, hey, you're taking 500. We can like triple this. You're not really going to pay much more CPC. Perfect. I don't need this to count conversions. I just need to know how much more incremental impressions and traffic can I buy. Right. And this thing here theoretically can go pretty high, probably 3, 4, or 5K a day before I actually start to see some good points of diminishing returns potentially. What's interesting though is click share is not correlated equally to ad spend. So a 30% click share, you could double your budget and go to 40% click share. It doesn't mean it's going to go to 60. They're not relevant.
They're not correlated.
So as long as I'm below, technically, as long as I'm below my my search impression share, where'd it go? As long as I'm below like 85, I have room to grow. 85 is usually where you see things pretty much just tap out because Google will never just permanently affix someone to a position.
Okay. So to scale, you're really just going to be adding budget to that campaign, it sounds like.
Both campaigns equally. So I'm at 500 and 1,500. Yep. Right. So $2,000.
Sort of a 90-10 kind of mix, as you said before, thereabouts.
675-25 for this particular. Yeah. So what happens is if I need to add like 10% more ad spend, or let's say a 20% more ad spend, 500 would go to 600, 1,500 would go to like, 1,750 or whatever the percentage is. I don't do math well. I failed in high school, but those two will just move equally. Now I do this for a living. Those two will just move.
It's a good thing.
I know. Scary thought. Like
nobody would hire us. That's why we start our own businesses.
I'm illiterate and I can't count, but I'll run your Google ads.
Absolutely. All the qualifications you need. That's cool.
Yeah.
So is this one that we're going to come back to in like a couple of weeks and just sort of see how you've been able to scale up? Because those lines are now making a nice diversion, doing the the John chart.
Exactly. And I can't share the other accounts in this here, but what I can tell you while this loads, drum roll, please. Come on.
I'm just chuckling at one of our users' names.
Oh, yeah. John Rand's dog.
John Rand's dog. We will definitely answer your question. The more creative your username is, I think the better chance you have to answer the question, because we're getting a lot of questions here.
So last thing I'll say is this is two out of, and what we're going to do is this is a massive undertaking. This is my proof of concept, because what you'll see here on the screen, if you want to share that, Ralph, real quick.
Yep. Oh yeah, I got to be.
This is 2 out of 99 campaigns that are enabled, not paused at all. These are enabled. So these are, we're going to do this about 100 times in this account. That's my proof of concept.
Ah, okay. So it's not necessarily just on those 2 campaigns. Like, you've got plenty of.
We have 100 campaigns. I said they're all stuck. Someone said, let me take those campaigns, see if I can scale it. Oh, I can't scale it? Let's do it 99 more times.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have a shit ton of data.
Is this strategy going to work for the client that we talked to this week?
Yeah, because it's actually built. What's funny, I've been watching some comments. The strategy is actually built up of a fairly known shopping campaign strategy. Right. So it's just a priority level.
It's kind of a Facebook campaign in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
You get the first click and then you retarget them in a lot of ways. Like, exactly. How do you scale? Your L1s, your L2s, and L3s really inside Facebook.
It's just inbound.
Just inbound. Exactly.
Yeah.
Imagine that.